Hi guys, and welcome back to the show. Yesterday, a case many people thought would never reach the public spotlight was discussed at the National Press Club in Washington DC. Witnesses, medical testimony, lawmakers and claims of direct contact with a non-human being were all brought forward in front of a public audience. This was the Varginha UFO case, often called Brazil's Roswell.
In 1996, the people of Varginha, Brazil, witnessed a UFO event that would change their lives forever.
Só que ele planava, ia perdendo lentamente a altitude e ia caminhando.
Followed another Roswell, if you will. It is a crashed vehicle that had beings on board.
Mas que eles não poderiam admitir a verdade, a população ia entrar em colapso.
Nada temos.
Reported seeing a strange object in the sky, and later witnesses claimed encounters with small, distressed creatures that were allegedly captured by the military. Over time, the story grew into one of the most famous UFO cases outside of the US, involving alleged military transport, medical treatment, and even the death of a soldier, Marcus Shirazi, contacted to the incident. For years, this case lived mostly in documentaries and UFO circles until now. Yesterday, filmmaker, the best filmmaker in my opinion, James Fox, known for Moments of Contact, hosted a press conference at the National Press Club in Washington DC, marking nearly 30 years since the incident. This wasn't a fan event, this was a formal press briefing aimed at journalists, lawmakers and the public, designed to put sworn testimony and documentation on record. Sadly, the mainstream media made no attempt to attend the conference, and that is extremely sad. Okay, one of the most talked about moments came from Dr. Italo Venturelli, a Brazilian neurosurgeon. He claims that in 1996 he personally encountered a non-human entity inside the hospital in Varginha. According to his testimony, this was not a rumour or a second-hand story. He says he was directly involved and chose to remain silent for decades. That alone raised eyebrows, but he wasn't the only one. Other witnesses include medical professionals and individuals who say they were present during the alleged military response. They described unusual biological characteristics and behaviour that didn't match known animals or humans. Documents were also presented, including claims from a forensic pathologist tied to the death of a Brazilian military officer, someone allegedly exposed to the being. According to the speakers, autopsy information and medical analysis were made available to press attendees, though these materials have not yet been independently verified. And that distinction is important. Why the lawmakers were actually there. US lawmakers also took the stage, including Congressman Eric Burleson, who framed the issue not as aliens but as transparency. Eric Burleson has been very brave in stepping up to the plate on this subject. He originally, on the first congressional hearing, looked to me to be sceptical. But once he listened to the testimony from his fellow congresspeople and from the witnesses there, he seemed to change his mind very quickly. They called for expanded whistleblower protections and deeper investigation into unidentified anomalous phenomena. especially when testimony comes from the medical professionals and military sources. Public and media reaction. Well, reactions were split. UFO researchers are calling it historic. Skeptics pointed out the lack of physical evidence available to the public. Mainstream media coverage was limited, but online, the story exploded, with clips, reactions and debates spreading fast. Yesterday, was it a turning point? Or just another chapter in a long-running mystery? No definitive proof was revealed, but what did happen in these credible professionals put their names and reputations on the line in a setting designed for accountability, not entertainment. One of those was an Air Force colonel. The Varginha case is no longer just a story from Brazil. It's now part of a global conversation about disclosure, oversight, and what we might still be missing. These beings make things very difficult for us to gather evidence, but they are here. And you need to only look at the testimony spanning back 70 and 80 years to see that a lot of these stories line up, match up in times way before social media. Okay? If you want updates as this story develops, hit subscribe, drop a comment. Do you think this case deserves a full international investigation? I do. As always, keep questioning. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.